Want to know what the other bullshit trophy in God of War Ragnarok is? Well, it's the Trials by Fire trophy for completing the Trials of Muspelheim. Now, I can't say that word, so I'm never going to say the name of the realm again. But yeah, this one was a right pain in the arse to unlock, and it took me several hours, I think. I was on this for fucking ages. So once you get to this realm, there's a bunch of combat challenges that you can do. There's 3 rooms you can go in, a left, middle and right room, and each one has its own set of challenges, like this one here, which requires you to kill 15 enemies without taking any damage. Now, going into this, like probably everyone else, I kind of thought this one would be kind of really tough to actually kill 15 enemies without getting hit once, but if you use the spear and just attack them from a distance at range, you can easily kill all these enemies without taking any damage. And plus, you also have Freya with you, so you can make use of her abilities as well, so just keep your distance from everyone. The enemies will also always spawn in the same place, and you always fight the same enemies. So if you do fail it a couple of times, you'll soon be able to learn when the order of the enemies spawning in and where they spawn from, to allow you to easily avoid it. So once you beat that one, you complete your first Crucible challenge, and in total there are 6 initial challenges for you to actually beat. So once you've done that one, you just go into one of the other rooms, go up to the sword, and then select another challenge. So this one here is a ring out challenge, where opponents rapidly regenerate health, and you have to just basically kick them into the lava. So you just need to not have the axe equipped and just boot them into the lava. So that one was really easy once you figured out how you actually got them into the lava. So again, you go to the other sword in the other room, and there's another challenge for you in there. This Feed the Rift one was a bit of an odd one, because basically you just have to kill the enemies, and once you kill them, they drop a sort of glowing orb that you have to pick up and then throw into the rift, and you have to do that 15 times, and there is a time limit, but it is really generous. A lot of these early Crucible challenges are just really easy and just a bit underwhelming.
That was an easy one too, to be fair.
So after beating that one, we then go into another room and select the sword again to pick the next challenge in that room. And in this one, you have to kill the enemies and make sure there's never more than the population count allows. So this one, you had to always make sure there was less than 4 enemies in the room, otherwise you would fail it. And again, it was just a really easy one.
I thought that would be harder as well.
So you then go again and repeat the process, selecting the next challenge. This one was a King of the Hill challenge. So basically you had to stop the enemies from getting into the ring, and this ring would sort of move around the room. And if too many were in there, they would fill up the bar and you'd fail it. But again, it was another easy, fairly basic trial.
I don't feel like that was a good one, but it let me do it, so I'll take it.
So after beating every trial, you get a chest that you can open to get some rewards, and after you beat all 6 of the trials, you can then go back to the centre area, which is just in front of the 3 rooms, and there's a chest there that you can then open in order to claim another reward, and it's here where things start to get bullshit with this trophy.
The steel's reacting to us. That sword, it wasn't there before. The sword, it's inactive. Perhaps it needs more molten metal sent to it. Let's check the other arenas again. Let's check the other arenas again.
Yep, you heard alright. We now have to go back to those other arenas, the left, middle and right one, in order to trigger the sword in this centre. So you basically have to do, say, a challenge on the left room, then a challenge on the right room, and then go back to the sword to get a new challenge. And this is the problem I have with this trophy, because it's just the ultimate in padding out content and extending the game's runtime. When this game is already bloated enough already, having to go back into these left, middle and right rooms and repeat challenges that we've already done, or challenges that we have to do again and again, is just really annoying in order to get to the ones that we actually want to do. I find that to be absolutely bullshit, and it just overly overcooks this section of the game. So you do one on the left and you'll see the light going back down to the room, the bit where the sword is. So then you need to pick another room. So say we do left and then right, that'll get us one of the new challenges, and then maybe next time we need to do right and then left, or middle and left, or middle and right, and so on. So you go into the next room, you do another challenge in there, which admittedly are easy, they're not that hard, and you can just repeat the same ones over and over again. So that the challenge of the fight isn't hard. The challenge is your patience and having to repeat these. So once you've done 2 of those, I think it's 2, I don't think you have to do all 3, I think it's just 1 and then another one, and then you go back to the sword, and then now you can select the actual challenge that you want to do. So this one is an endurance challenge where you just have to survive.
99 enemies. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So yeah, now, after doing 2 other challenges to get to this challenge and get access to this challenge, you're now tasked with killing 99 fucking enemies without failing. And if you do die at any point during those 99 enemies, you'll go right back to the beginning and have to start from 1 again. So this was just an absolute slug. It really was an endurance, because it was just boring, because it's all the enemies you've already fought throughout the game, and they're not exactly challenging, but it's just boring having to go and do it, and it's just long for the sake of being long. That's what I felt like with this one. It wasn't hard, it was just an endurance of just boredom, and it wasn't challenging. Like, my health wasn't running out, I was always pretty healthy, I always had all my moves, and it was just a chore to go and do this. And this is what my problem is with a lot of these extra challenges in this Crucible area. These final 6 are just monotonous. So once you finally kill all 99 enemies, another chest will appear in the room, and you can now get your reward for completing that challenge. And then after you open the chest, the sword appears in the middle again, and it's basically just now reset, and you need to go and do another 2 challenges in order to get the next challenge on that middle sword. So because we went left and right last time, we now need to go and do a challenge in a different room in a different order in order to get the next challenge. So I don't know how you're supposed to know this in the game. I used an online guide in order to do this, and again I went back in, did this weapon mastery challenge, got that one done, then went back into another room, selected another challenge in there for rapidly killing enemies, killed 22 enemies in there to beat that challenge again, to now be able to go and do the second challenge on this center sword, which was a shield breaker challenge. So yeah, again, it was just a slug. It's just so convoluted in how you go about doing them that it just felt entirely unnecessary. And when you have to fight like mini bosses in there that just extend the length of the challenge again and again, it just becomes really bullshit. Why can't I just do these challenges straight away? Why does the game feel the need to make me go and repeat 2 challenges in order to get this next challenge? I just don't see any reason for that. It's not like you have to do them like back to back, and you don't get to heal again or anything, or like it's an endurance where you can't continue. You just go in to repeat 2 challenges to get a key, basically, to unlock the challenge on that sword, and I just didn't see the point of it at all. It becomes more frustrating when you realise there is actually 6 challenges for you to complete on this centre sword, which means you're going to have to repeat 12 of the other challenges in order to just get access to these. Now for me, that was just absolutely bullshit, and I don't get why they thought that was a good idea. It's just there for padding, in my opinion, to make this section of the game last a little bit longer than it needed to, because I feel like I was here for a good hour or 2 just doing all of these challenges, and I was just bored. It killed my excitement for these new 6 challenges because I had to repeat a load of bullshit just to get to them. By the time I got to them, I was already bored and just desperate to get to the next one so I could get them all done and unlock this that Trials by Fire silver trophy, and for me it was too bloated and too padded out, and it just didn't need to be that long-winded. If it was just the straight up 6 challenges back to back, that would have been fine and I would have enjoyed it. But forcing me to repeat challenges I've already done just to get access to new challenges every single time I want to do a new challenge was just absolutely bullshit, and that's why it's the other bullshit trophy in God of War Ragnarok.